Welcome to another episode of Follow the Brand TV. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, a 5-star personal brand and business development company. I want to take you on a journey through another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand TV series, you will differentiate yourself from the competition and build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build confidence, and reflect who you are. Building your 5-star personal brand is a great way to improve your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or any of my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh@5starbdm.com. Now, let's begin with our next episode on the Follow the Brand TV.
Five-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
My name is Toya Watkins, and I am a health administrator. I've been in the healthcare field for about 15 years. So I'm excited just to go through my different stages in my career, and I'm very excited about how my future looks in healthcare. I'm really happy about how we are really using the tools and the technology in healthcare, and really excited about, the future of technology in healthcare. I know we have some healthcare affiliations right now in Congress that's kind of advocating for us to use AI in healthcare. AI is the future in healthcare, I think.
And think about in your role, and think about how you were impactful for a patient, that you were able to do something that changed the outcome because you got involved. Welcome to the Follow Brand Podcast. This is your host, Grant McGaugh, and I get to go all the way out to the West Coast. I need to go out there and visit more often. And there's one person I really need to see when I go out to the San Jose, Oakland area, the former champions that were out there, the Golden State Warriors, who, they've had their run. and then not. But they've done some great work in the meantime. However, Latoya Watkins lives there. She's been doing fantastic things in healthcare. We just worked together on. I've taken her through my program, Brave Brand Blueprint Strategy. She's looking to enhance in the world of career development, and she wanted to showcase her thought expertise in the realm of healthcare administration that she has been doing for a number of years. I wanted to bring her onto the show. She's so excited, and I don't want to hold her back any longer. Latoya, you'd like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. Yes, my name is Toya Watkins, and I am a health administrator. I've been in the healthcare field for about 15 years. So I'm excited just to go through my different stages in my career. And I'm very excited about how my future looks in healthcare. I'm really excited and passionate about healthcare.
Well, let's unpack that just a little bit.
Yeah,
15 years, boy, it doesn't seem like it's been that long. And as you
yeah.
look back and think about the pivotal moments that you have experienced in healthcare, and going back to why you got into the industry in the first place, take us through a little bit about that journey. Why did you choose healthcare as a profession?
I just chose healthcare as a profession because of how I am as a person. Like I'm empathetic, I'm passionate, I'm a servant individual. So I just kind of wanted to go into a field where I can be safe in an environment where I can inflict those qualities into the workplace and also to make an impact in the workplace. And I didn't think of any other field that I can go into but healthcare.
Well, that makes sense. So you're driven to it by your own particular brand that is in the empathy world. You have a lot of empathy, and you're also very innovative. And as you see the change over your time in the industry, what is the most impactful thing that you're seeing now taking shape in the healthcare industry?
Right now, taking shape in the healthcare industry, I would say, it took a long time for us to incorporate technology. So I was there when, working side by side with doctors. When we first, got I think it was called the electric medical record. And then we advanced to EHR. So I'm really happy about how we are really using the tools and the technology in healthcare, and really excited about the future of technology in healthcare. I know we have some healthcare affiliations right now in Congress that's kind of advocating for us to use AI in healthcare. AI is the future in healthcare. I think it can help, with doctors to give them back their time, with chart notes, even with leaders dealing with administrative tasks, with patients. So, hopefully Congress and lawmakers will allow us to implement AI technology in healthcare.
That's very, very important. You don't want to be laggards in the technical field, as healthcare
Right.
has been over time. I don't think we can afford to do that because this does collapse the windows of time, makes things a lot quicker and get good information, especially if it's precise and that it's accurate information that you can trust. Trust is so big in healthcare. Help our audience understand now. Were you a hospital administrator? Are you a community health leader? Were you running clinics? Help us understand your role.
Yeah, so I started off working in practices, medical practices with doctors, so like outpatient. So I was a medical assistant in various different specialties. So right now, because a lot of big health system has have bought practices, doctor practices. So now it's called ambulatory care. So it's like the same type of delivery where I was working in medical practices. It's now called ambulatory care settings, and outpatient. So in different specialties, I worked in pediatric, OB, rheumatology, actually with Michael Jackson, Dr. Metzger. I'm not sure if he's still around now, but I used to be his medical assistant. So just worked in just various fields in the outpatient sector. And even in the workplace, I would always be innovative and had a pretty much influence, even as a medical assistant, how to make change in the workplace to make processes better. So that kind of what sparked my interest in healthcare leadership. So then I kind of withdraw from the healthcare field as a medical assistant, pursued my education, higher education, received my bachelor's of science in health administration and management and my master's in healthcare management. Went in as a medical assistant and came out a healthcare leader, a health administrator.
I love that. I love that. Now, you've gone through my program and you've seen the strategies that were put together. It's around your own personal brand. And I'd like you to tell the audience your experience in working with me and how that has helped you frame your whole career journey and how you're headed in a whole nother direction at this point.
Yeah, so I would have to say that your strategy dealing with being brave, and it's basically has given me the opportunity to be bold in my career, and to also be courageous. Like I was telling you previously, you know, I went and I started to think 10 years ago and envision how my career would be, which I'm in it now. 10 years fast forward, I'm in it now. I'm in a health administrator. But, you know, just being in your program just kind of really had me think, you know, where do I see myself in the next 10 years? Or where do I see my career and the, you know, over the span of 24 years, and just being bold and courageous and to take the necessarily steps to always continuously learn and just kind of think innovatively and have that vision type of visionary type of mindset. So, you know, with that being said, I kind of see myself, you know, in leadership roles as like a CEO in healthcare settings, and then, you know, like to think of the steps to get me there.
If you can figure out a way to network, connect, create, and get your 5 to 10 minutes of FaceTime, they're happy to receive it. I'm happy to receive it. But make sure that what you have to say is impactful. Community is what raised me. A song that said, you can do anything regardless of where you're from, regardless of where your upbringing, we support you. I think the differentiator with us is that we have truly leaned in on culture. Culture is what keeps people. Something that I learned very early in my career, thankfully, is that if you're always chasing a higher salary or you're always chasing a title, you're going to find it. If you go out looking for a higher salary, you're going to find it. If you want a bigger title, you're going to find it. But culture and the way that you feel when you step into the hospital, the way that you feel when you step into your workplace, that you're not going to find everywhere.
Selena Velasco-Holson. I am a Chief Operating Officer for HCA Florida JFK North Hospital, which is a HCA hospital in the East Florida division as part of HCA's network. I've been in my role for about a year and a half now, and with the company for 5 years. So I'm really excited to share some of my learnings and my journey with you all and the audience today. I have three pillars that I live my life by, Grant. And I think that what's made me successful has been operating by these three, which is being empathetic in nature, holding your team accountable, and being authentic to who you are and yourself, right?
That's what it's all about. It's providing the framework to understand if you're going to get to another role, what does it take to be there? So you become the person that you're aspiring to be.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You think 10 years previously, like, well, what was I aspiring to be? Now you become that person.
Yes.
Now, you got the necessary certifications and the education and the experience. And here you are, and you're on this next journey. I wanted to ask you this because this is so important. And now you work with this because you're interfacing not only with the clinicians on a daily basis, but you're also dealing with the patient population and what their needs are. And if you had to say, like, what would you like to see as a change in the delivery of healthcare as opposed to as it is today?
I would like to see us really focusing on patient-centered care. So I know, like in operations, there is a sector in healthcare that's called care coordination. And that care coordination can start from, patients being seen at the hospital, and then they're getting discharged into skilled nursing facilities or even receiving home health care, or if they need referral to like specialty. And I would like for us to kind of like really amplify and concentrate on care coordination. It's not really it's not really talked about in operations, but it is a sector in operations because communication and transition of care is very important with the patient's experience. If we can kind of amplify and kind of like hone in on making that delivery better with care coordination, the patients will have a lot better experience in healthcare. It would alleviate stress as well. It would eliminate stress because a lot of times communication is dropped, or the patients are not really informed, or the transition of care doesn't go through very smoothly. So if we can focus on care coordination, that kind of ties into patient-centered care, and then that can also improve the patient's satisfaction in receiving health care.
That's very important. It's very important. You're using data-driven strategies to measure, and then you're really getting the information directly from the patients. Like, what is your experience? What is really going on? We got into this, part of the BRAVE framework is all about authenticity. You got to be authentic. Sometimes you don't like the feedback that you get, like in a medical setting, because some of the information is like, no, you thought it was a great experience, but for my lens, it wasn't so great. And here's why. Here are some of the things that are happening. And I know you've seen this transition even into home health care, where people would rather be taken care of in their home because they just feel safer. They feel more familiar than going, directing them to maybe a facility or a hospital setting. and things like that. You've got to take those things into consideration. What kind of like real talk conversations do you have with your patients to really help them understand the experience of being or going into the healthcare ethos, if you want to call it that, because there's so many moving parts. How do you help that person who's like 60 years old, they've never really been involved in the healthcare system, they're about to go into it, they probably have some misconceptions? What kind of conversations do you have?
Yeah, so at my previous role as a center operations director at Concentra, my patients just knew that I was like always on the floor, available for them. My team knew if it was like any communication, I had an open door policy. They can come speak to me. A lot of times the patients would ask, yeah, I want to speak to the director, LaToya. I have conversations and I get the feedback from them, and it's mostly about coordination and customer service. Something wasn't communicated with them. They didn't, the right information wasn't transferred to them. And so that kind of really affects their experience. So care coordination is very important. And just like you were mentioning earlier about being authentic, showing up in the workplace, having that good communication, being knowledgeable, and having a helping hand just goes a long way with patients. They really do appreciate someone that makes time for them, that can listen to them, and have the resources and can make change in the workplace.
I like those. And I like how you say you make yourself accessible
Yes.
To the patient so they can talk. And it makes them feel better when they say, okay, this organization has my best interest at heart. They're really trying to help me. And it's a team. I know when I'm a patient, I want to be part of that team. I want to know what's going on. I think patients today want more information. And I know you're a big technology advocate now. I mean, that's something that was, like you said, before you got into the business, really wasn't that, a big of a deal. Maybe it was more paper centric. Now it's more electronic centric. A lot more consumers now are getting information through whether it's the internet or it could be artificial intelligence, like a chat bot or something like that. How do you feel technology really is going, as you said earlier, as you look 3 years out, 5 years out, 10 years out, what do you need to be from the technology lens in healthcare?
Yeah, so with the technology lens, like I said, it's going to buy back time for our clinicians, for our administrative staff, and our leaders. So, if we could trust the technology, it will give us more time to provide that patient care, for patient care. And that's what healthcare is really about. So just, having, the technology that can reduce wait time, if we're not like charting notes all the time, if we can have some type of technology to help with that, that would be great. Patient care. If we can also, like I said, reduce patient care, wait times, less time for the patient to be seen by a clinician or a provider. Also accessibility. If we, with accessibility, there's technology out there that will provide that accessibility where patients can get that real time, faster care into healthcare. And that just, improves their satisfaction. And then, that improves the way the United States healthcare deliver care. And that's what we want in the future is, patient satisfaction. Patient-centered care is going to be huge in healthcare in the future.
tend to operate more in the vein of what are we doing as an enterprise, as an organization around our goals and our strategy, taking that first, and then looking more broadly across that stack to say, okay, where do we have gaps in the technologies that exist today? But more importantly, where do we have gaps in what we seek to achieve where technology is not going to be as efficient or as adequate as is necessary to meet those targets? So passionate about this space. And again, I've had the great fortune to have had some wonderful mentors and leaders in my time that I've learned so very much from. And I really seek to do the same and to give that back. I love mentoring and seeing people grow. Building those high performing teams is where I really find my greatest value and contribution.
I pull from, my purpose and strength is with federally qualified health centers and community providers that are really the boots on the ground, helping improve care and helping drive those better outcomes for patients and the communities that they live and work in. We're definitely in an exciting time. I think everybody says that because healthcare is always changing. But from a digital perspective and a technological adoption standpoint, there's a lot of movement in healthcare.
I believe that. You got applications like remote patient monitoring, telehealth applications, real-time monitoring and data-driven insights. So you need data-driven insights to understand, what possibly or predictive analytics that could be used, for patients so you can anticipate problems before they happen, which is always a great, great, great thing.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you this because we're both are part of the National Association of Health Services Executives, and there's a keen focus on diversity and inclusion. And it was obviously very, very big, before the George Floyd incident, and then it got huge with the George Floyd incident, and now it seems to be like people are stepping back, away from diversity and inclusion for whatever reason in certain areas of the country. From your lens, why do you feel diversity, equity, and inclusion is so important in your role in healthcare?
Well, diversity and inclusion, I firmly believe the value of diversity and inclusion in the workplace. In many different areas, because basically what it does is it celebrates, our roots in America. It also foster a workplace that values diversity, equity, inclusion. It gives culture. It provides a sense of belonging and respect amongst your peers, colleagues, our patients, people that have various different backgrounds, our perspectives, our experiences. That's who we are in America. We're a melting pot. We have different backgrounds, different experiences. So we should really value that. We're all, with that equality, or we're all equal. We all have experience. We're all educated. And this is what America is about. And we need to show up and inflict that into the workplace. And that's very important when I'm like hiring for my team, or if I'm working with colleagues and peers, respecting their background, interested about their background, love to hear their different perspectives, to make change and to make better processes in the workplace.
That's so important. It's so important to be reflective of the whole. And because if you're making strategies, you're making policies from the health organization that you're working with, it's got to be reflective of everybody.
Yes.
As much as you can, and that you got to get input from your community of how they want to engage with the healthcare system. I think that's so important. I want to ask you this, because right now, there's someone listening who may be interested in your services. They may be interested in having you come on board with their organization. And they have, different administrators, they have different teams, they have different stakeholders in healthcare. What strategies do you use to engage with the various stakeholders in the healthcare world, whether it's the clinician world, the operations, marketing, finance? Help us understand, if we bring you in and you work for us, what strategies would you employ?
The strategies is basically, I kind of mentioned it earlier about communication. Communication is very important. And I also mentioned about belonging and being respectful among each other, our peers, our patients, our colleagues, our staff, our team. So it's really important to build that rapport. Build that rapport with different stakeholders, engage with them, get to know them as an employee, as a peer, as a colleague. Is very important. We're all educated. We all have experiences, and we have different perspectives that we can bring in the workplace. But if you can just kind of clone in and build that rapport first, with the clinicians, the providers, let them know you're down earth, you're engaging with them. Everything else will fall into place, whether if you need to come together and make change policies in the workplace, implement policies and procedures, make changes in the workplace. If you have that rapport with your team, things can kind of go a little bit more effective of making change in the workplace. So that's what I like to do. I'm a very interpersonal person. I like to engage with people, be enthusiastic, and really get to know them as a person versus as an employee, a colleague, a peer, or a professional.
I like that. And since we're talking about brand, personal brand, when you think about your brand now, if you had to describe your brand to someone said, Toya, what's your brand? What would you say?
My brand is, I'm a community advocate, very knowledgeable. I'm really passionate about diversity and inclusion, very knowledgeable about healthcare innovation. So just enthusiastic, reliable, innovative healthcare leader. That's my brand.
I'm going to agree with that. I'm going to definitely, agree with that. This has been great. And before I go, I also want to ask you, give us an example. Think about your last 15 years, and think about in your role, and think about how you were impactful for patient, that you were able to do something that changed the outcome because you got involved. And because you got involved, it was a positive result. Can you give us a story around that?
Yeah. So I mentioned before, um, just like patients and their experience, being patient centered and their experience is the reduce of wait time. When you go to a doctor's office, you want that efficient, um, attention, individualized care. You don't want to spend all day at the doctor's office. So, at my previous experience as a center operations director, that company had issues with wait time. So that's what I did. I got together with my center medical director, my team, other directors, and we just kind of like strategized and reviewed the data that was from our EHR and scheduling techniques to make the wait time to reduce the wait time and to make care more accessibility. So that's something that I really advocate for is reduce wait time and accessibility in healthcare. And that really does help with patient satisfaction in receiving healthcare services. It's very important.
No, I agree. Oh my God, waiting for the doctor after you made an appointment, and then you finally go to see the doctor, and then you wait more. Then
Yeah.
before you know it, you've burnt a whole day. You've gone to see the doctor, it probably take 15 minutes, and then they send you on your merry way. You're like, wow, I just burnt all that time, and I got to go deal with traffic again. Nobody likes
Right.
that, you know?
Right. So we gotta like, that's my thing is like when I go into a healthcare organization, ambulatory care operation, like I don't want my patients waiting. I want them to get good quality care and have that accessibility whenever they need to see a doctor. We have appointment times and reduce wait time. And then if you can provide that to the patient, oh my God, patient satisfaction scores go up. And that's what I did for the company that I was previously working for as an operations director at Concentra. The patient satisfaction scores were low. I got in there, revamped the scheduling policies and procedures, the EHR, put appointment blocks in there, and I improved the wait time, reduced the wait time, and our patient satisfaction scores went up like 43%.
Well, that's a big drop to the bottom line. I'm
Yes.
sure, because not only are you working with the operations, you understand the finance
Yes.
that takes place, and you know your numbers, and you know how to deliver value. And I think that is so important. I want to ask you one last question, and that is, I want you to be very candid. Let the audience know, and I know before you're like, hey, do I want to engage with Grant on this program as far as the Brave brand strategy? Before now, you've gone through it. You're on the other side of that. Talk to them about the experience that you had and some of the values that you believe you've gained.
Yeah, the vision that I was able to give is, strategy, to be able to strategize, have vision. I use those skills as well as vision, um, and to also strategic planning. So just like all those skills that you would need, in the workplace, as a healthcare leader. The program just really, had me to, contemplate and think, okay, in an organization, how does my vision align with their strategic goals? How, the strategic goals of their organization and my vision, how can I align them together? How can I, branch them together? And that's what this program allowed me to go through and to think, when you're strategically planning out things, write them down, a clear plan of your goals and your objectives and how you're going to get there and also have a vision. You have to see whatever your objectives are, you have to see it come to life. And that's what happened going through this program. I had a vision and we went through the strategic process. We went through different plans and we implemented, and we got through all the action items to produce a product. Yes.
I'm going to start it off with brand strategy, why that is so important. I find that oftentimes the challenge is in a lot of businesses and startups, people are just getting out there and really, hitting the pavement. They got a great idea, but they don't take the time to truly understand the playbook that you need to have. That you have to have a well-crafted strategy so you know how to invest properly and that you can measure, your progress effectively in what you're doing. So you don't just start executing. I'm sure you didn't just jump out in all these different organizations that you worked with and just started, hey, we're going to grow, 2x in X amount of days without having a working plan. Yep. You've been able to do that.
Follow the Brand TV broadcast host, Grant McGaugh, as he visits with top executives and entrepreneurs to find out their secrets of success with their personal brand. Follow the Brand TV broadcast host as he focuses on brand development to build better relationships, bring value to your business, relationships, and career. You will enjoy listening to each episode that is tailored to speak to you directly. If you're looking for this type of clarity in terms of building your brand, you have tuned into the right station. Each episode will help you to shape a conversation in the 5-star BDM network of 20,000 professionals and become a springboard for your corporate engagement and business opportunities. Each guest will frame their story in the areas of personal branding, business development, career development, financial empowerment, and technology innovation. Grant McGaugh explains why he is the CEO and owner of his own professional career. Grant is an accomplished business leader and entrepreneur who wants to give back to individuals to grow their personal brand strategy. Tune in as he weaves his story about new possibilities, while to you exceed expectations. If you love storytelling, this show will make for fun.
That's what it's all about. The product is you. And
yes.
I like when we went through the skills gap analysis, and you get to see like, all right, how do I sit in relation to other people in my field? And people that are a little bit below me, some that are on the same level, some that are 1 or 2 steps above. And then that's how we get to that strategy, right? So you're like, all right, if this is who you want to be, because they're already in the role that you want to ascend to. What steps, what do I need to get there? You did that. And everybody, I talk to you all the time, but tell them you have to write your own story. I like that you are able to, capitalize your story, put it on paper, write it through, and really get into it because that makes it real. Would you agree with that?
Yes, it makes it real. That's what I was like, have that vision. Write it down, and then you're going to see the end product. So
that's the only way to make it happen. That's the
only way to make it happen.
And we're making it happen with you. This has been wonderful. I really loved working with you. If there's anything you want to leave the audience with before we leave, and I already know you're going to probably get, 3 or 4 calls after this. All these people like, I want you to work with, at my clinic. I need a person like you. I need your energy. I need your vision. I need somebody that knows how to get things done. What would you like to leave us with?
Just like, some advice for, emergent health administration leaders. Strong leadership skills is very important in health administration. Also, going into the future, we kind of discuss how, technology can help healthcare. So kind of embrace technology in healthcare. That's another thing I want to leave with. Patient-centered. It's all about the patient, because without the patient, the doctors, that's their mission. Their mission is the patients. And as administrator, we're there to support the team and to help, navigate through challenges. So, be patient-centered, build strong relationships with people is very important, and prioritize quality and safety in healthcare organizations. And also be resilient and adaptable. There's, things in my career trajectory, I've went through different journeys and milestones. And to get through that, I had to be adaptable and to be resilient, through different challenges in life and in my career. And to also continuously learning. It's very important, and development within yourself and in your team.
Man, well put, well said.
That
is wisdom to take to heart for anybody. That's how we grow. That's how we make life interesting, right? So you've got to be able to step out of your comfort zone, step into new zones, but step with understanding and have a plan, for where you're going. I love that. I love that. So if the audience would like to get in touch with you, what is the best possible way?
Well, I have an email, and my email is my last name, which is Watkins, Watkins, first name Latoya, Latoya 01 @gmail.com.
Excellent. And they can reach you on LinkedIn as well?
Yes, LinkedIn. Yes, you can find me through my first and last name, Latoya Watkins. However, there's quite a few people out there in the universe with the same name as I. So that's why I mentioned my email. Just Watkins, Latoya 01 @gmail.com.
That's it. But you are the one and only, right?
Yes.
You're the one and only on the Follow Brand podcast. That is for certain. And if your audience would like to tune in to all the episodes of Follow Brand, which there are over 150 different episodes to learn for people like Latoya Watkins, you can reach me at 5, that's the number 5, star, STARBDM, that's B for brand, D for development, M for masters.com. This has been wonderful, Latoya. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone. Stay well.
I'll go back to the part of what I was told. I was told that I wasn't good enough to go to college. So I would go back and say, don't listen to people that put limits and labels on me. Mm-hmm. Because there's something that a really smart guy taught me once. His name is Chaz Hartwig. I love Chaz. And he said, Daphne, there's this thing called thoughts, actions, and results. How you think will determine what you do. And whatever you do will create results, outcomes. So if you think that you can drive your car 100 miles on 50 miles worth of gas, then you'll try to do that. And then what'll happen is you'll run out of gas. So if you don't like the results you're getting, you got to change how you think.
you're working on that type of scenario, the relationships are so key. That you have the relationships of the people you are, your team, and the relationships you can establish with the people you're trying to come together with. The difference now is, as we think about diversity and inclusion and equity, it's about not only do we need to get people, have a workforce that is, indicative of the community that the organization is serving, but how do you ensure that within that people feel a part of the organization? So that's where the inclusion part comes in. Well, I think it's both exposure and experience. And you can't get the experience if you don't get the opportunities.
Anecdotally, from the moment I got into this position, the number of women, Black women, Haitian women, Black men, who have just come and said, you made me believe this is possible. Now I can speak too. And it's not about just appeasing, but they see the move towards inclusion, the need, the move towards someone who can represent their voice.
Well, you definitely need the education and higher education, master's level, by all means. But even with that, I think it's important for young people to understand that you're not going to finish your master's and become the CEO and run, a hospital and organization. You need some experience. You need to gain the knowledge. Healthcare is ever changing, and so we have to always stay on our game. We have to constantly be learning, going to conferences, trying to understand where this whole field is going. And so that's one thing. You want to gain your master's, but be a continuous learner in the process. Very important. You have to build those relationships. This is a relationship field. It's meeting people, working with people. We do not work in silos. In order to run a hospital, to provide care for our patients, we don't do it in a silo, just one department or one person. It's a team. It's a team working together. And so you have to be a team player.
5-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
Hello, leaders and visionaries. Are we ready to exceed our ambitious goals for 2024? At 5-Star BDM, we're your strategic partners, not just futurists. To the trailblazers in business development, healthcare, and IT, you need a path to realize your vision for growth. Our tailored consulting services are your stepping stones to success. We empower you to build brands, deliver results, and captivate audiences. In healthcare and IT, innovation is progress. At 5-Star BDM, we ensure your operations beat with precision, efficiency, and care. Join those who shape the future. Connect with us today. Let's set the stage for a defining quarter. With 5-Star BDM, it's not just business development, it's a beacon of excellence.
The Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. Please, you may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund or use the Cash App at $BBXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts. Please donate to the Black Business Expo USA Scholarship Fund. Tune in for our next show or click on our website at www.5starbdm/followthebrandtv. Thank you. Hey everyone, it's Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM and host of the award-winning Follow the Brand podcast and TV series, where I help you to build a 5-star brand that people will follow. My genius is personal brand development through intelligent communication and helping you achieve your business and career goals. I am a requested speaker on digital technology and brand development issues. I want to work with you to increase the value of your current opportunities while attracting new ones. Every one of you is unique, and we all share challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. As a super connector, I work with you as an executive coach to guide you along the complicated business and career development road, providing the enhancement tools and information you need to succeed. Together, I will help you succeed in today's challenging business climate. I will evaluate and measure your progress. Best of all, I am right alongside you every step of the way. Build the brand called you. Genius.